Hey, I like to give everybody a little praise report. People don't think that what we do makes impact. This is a testimony of impact made. I'm in Salt Lake City, and 3 years ago I was preaching on this sidewalk here. There's a homo bar, and I came here by myself about, it must have been about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that, and I started to preach right here. The crowd was really thick, and what happened, the thing erupted quickly, and the crowd attacked me from all different sides, and there was a taxi right here. Had the taxi not been here, they would have thrown me onto the street. I remember I was leaning against the hood of the car and fighting them off, and you know, I'm kind of doing this, and I did that so often that it messed up my shoulder. My shoulder was in bad shape. I got out of that night, you know, with a few bruises as usual, but my shoulder was pretty much gone. Within about 6 months later, they had to do surgery on my shoulder because of the fighting that took place on the sidewalk, and it was just pretty much trying to get the people off of me. I was surrounded by, I would say, at least 70, 80 angry homosexuals, and so. A year later, we came back to the same place around midnight, and we preached in front of this bar. And of course, police were called, and even some of the bouncers did remember the altercation that took place the year prior. So I'm back in Salt Lake City 3 years later, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So again, here's what happened. This is where I was assaulted. 3 years later, this place is shut down. God shut her down. It's no longer in existence, and praise the Lord. You mess with one of God's anointed, He'll shut you down. And this ain't the first time that happened. Come on, let's take a look. This place was crawling with sodomites. Music blasting. I mean, it was a pretty popular bar in Salt Lake City, conservative Utah, and the parking lot was filled with sodomites. It's a ghost town. There's nothing happening. Empty building. Place says closed. You look up the website, it says permanently closed. And so I rejoice. I am thankful. There's an old photograph or an old video footage of Weber and I preaching on 42nd Street at some nude place, X-rated place. That place no longer exists anymore. So we have testimonies of things like this happen. But you need to be faithful, and God will remove it. Not you, not the city council. God somehow gets involved and aborts this building. Last year when we came, we were preaching. This place was dancing filthy transvestites all over the place in this area. Who'd ever thought I'd be standing right here and the place is shut down? Who says God's not alive? Who says God's not good? Who said God doesn't actually honor prayers and the labor that we do? A couple of years ago, with all of the strobe lights, the music blasting, smoke, drugs in here, homos, trannies, lesbians, street preachers just getting beat up. Now the place is empty. Probably rats and mice live inside there. And what a testimony. I'm sure glad the Lord shows us these things. Now, if I've never even saw any of this before, I still would continue to preach outside of businesses like this. Hope you open-air preachers, street preachers, get ministered on this one, because I'm not alone, and I'm sure if you continue in your labor, God will shut these buildings down. Glory to Jesus.